I'm doing great.
Fair enough. Awesome. And for everybody that's on Facebook and YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And as always, it's great to hear from you. So Tucson Knife Fight kicks off on Monday at 7 p.m. Super excited about Tucson Knife Fight this year. We've got a great lineup. They've got some great sponsors. So it's going to be like no other. And working with them on some of the secret ingredients, it's going to be some fun. I mean, we're going to throw some surprises at those chefs.
So I wonder if the one guy's going to be the slap chop again this year.
What?
Yeah, when they were at Zio Pepe last year.
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
brought a slap chop.
Oh, yeah, of course. If somebody brings out a slap chop, I think Gary Hickey has a conniption every time. It's just he just loses it. It's hilarious. But Chef's awesome. So if you are wondering where the next week, because you got to follow him on Facebook, Instagram, so you can find out where each one's going to be. But the first one is at Charo Steak in Del Rey, and it starts at 7 p.m. So you got to come out and you got to get there early. Because you got to have dinner first and then hang out for the knife fights and the bar fight and everything else. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Have you ever participated in a knife fight?
No, I have not participated in any of those. I don't like to compete because I like
Fair
to win, and if I don't win, I guess you could say I'm a sore loser.
Okay. Well,
but don't you have something else on Monday?
Yes, we do. Oh, the food truck food fight. Yes, the food truck food fight info night.
Yeah.
If you are a food truck in Tucson, Arizona, and you want to participate in the Arizona Bowl, that's right, the Arizona Bowl tailgate. We have an info night so we can go through rules and process and everything else. And all you have to do is go to thetastyshow.com. All the information is there under events, and get your ticket so we can have a good head count. And that's at 5:30. So 5:30 we're going to meet up, and then we're going to go right over to Knife Fight afterwards because I'm hoping to get everything done within 45 minutes to an hour. And we're super excited about that. Yeah. Thank you for all right.
Well, see, I was looking at my schedule and I'm like, oh man, it's at 7. This is here. I was like, oh, I got to be here and be here. Like, oh, I'm gonna miss a little bit of something. But yeah.
No, I think we'll be able to get in or get out there and get out to support the chefs.
Yeah,
and
I've been posting about it. So.
Speaking of which, we also have quite a few other events happening. We have coffee with the Tucson Tasty show on Friday at Coffee Exchange over there on Tecaberti, and then we have meet the chefs at the TCC on the 25th. And if you go to ironcheftucson.com and to check that one out, because you can get tickets there. We'll be there as well, representing the Tucson Tasty show and checking it out. And if you're a chef or you know a chef that wants to participate, have them reach out to us at the Tasty Show at the Tucson Tasty Show at gmail.com. That's the Tucson Tasty Show at gmail.com. And we'll get all the information out to the chef that wants to participate. The only entrance fee for that is bringing the food. So you bring out the food to sample out to everything. It is a blind judging, so nobody knows where the food's coming from, so there's no bias. And the best judge or the best chef will actually get the Iron Chef get to compete against the reigning Iron Chef of Tucson, and that's Kenneth Foy of Dante's Fire, which he will be on the show on the 21st of September, which we're really excited about as well.
Well, last year, didn't they do like grilled cheese sandwiches? Is there... I remember seeing something on Facebook a while back. They was doing like an Iron Chef, but it was just grilled cheese sandwiches. So you had to do like a blueberry and a brie or something like that.
I'm not sure. I don't remember that. At Meet the Chefs last year, everybody just threw out their best
dish
and most creative dish, and it was really interesting to see. Zio Pepe, I mean, they took it without even there was no contest. I mean, his bite was incredible. It was a spinach ravioli, and I still dream about it. But he also had the three bean sauce as well. So it was 3 different beans, and every single note hit, and you put it all together, and you got that amazing umami flavor and it was just incredible.
Yeah, they got some good chefs over there. It's like I see all of the different events they like to participate in, and I love it when you see these different places like that and build up the different chefs. Because you got the was it Stephanie? She does the pizza there. She has a little really cool mohawk. I tried one of their last year at the knife fight at the Zero Pepe. They had a drink where I forget what they put in it, but it gives you that feeling of whenever the rain first hits the ground. It
monsoon.
Yeah, it gives you that kind of feeling. It's like the smell of it a little bit.
Yes,
like,
they actually spray it down with creosote, so they have that. It's incredible. Yeah. And while I have the chance, I needed to send out a on-air thank you to Mayor Regina Ramirez because. Romero, and I got this wonderful note from her sent to us to me at the studio here, and thanking me for all of our efforts to support small businesses. So thank you very much, Mayor, and I look forward to doing more to support Tucson, as I am a Tucson original, and I want to continue to support Tucson in any way that we can. So you have what is the tip and trick that you have for us today, as Leslie from Laramida Cellars gets set up and we get her a microphone?
So we're always talking about the last few weeks. Every time I try to build up on different things that we talk about. So I mean, last week we talked about butter. Which, speaking of, did you try the bourbon?
Yes, I did.
Which one did you like the best?
I like both of them. The honey bourbon was probably the one that I would lean towards a little bit more. But I don't like a lot of sweets. I'm a savory guy, and so I don't really get into the sweets too much. Now, it's not true for everything because Laramida Cellars actually has one of my favorite wines. It's called Padre Kino, and it's a little bit sweeter. It's not really heavy on the sweet, but you get that front sweet and then it finishes smooth and good and tasty. But when it's really sweet, where the back of your jaw hurts and your teeth chatter together a little bit.
We don't specialize.
The sweet tooth.
I don't like that. So
well, you're good because we don't go there.
And that's Leslie of Laramida Cellars. Thank you for coming in today. Super. So okay, butter last week.
And even before we talked about stocks and spices and stuff, so I was going to talk a little bit about garlic here. So do you know, like when you take garlic and it's just in the big clove? I always forget different words, but when you have it like that, it's like when you smell it, it does not smell like garlic. So whenever you start to cut it, that's when it actually releases different enzymes called allicin. And it's not like allicin, like the female name. It's like ALLISN. But so whenever you cut it even more, it releases even more of that enzyme. So that's why if you're going to use it and you want a really garlicky flavor, you want to make it into a paste versus cutting up, mincing, and then into like what's those things? Like a grater.
Okay.
Microplaner.
There you go.
I always forget. I have one in my tool bag, but I always forget what to call it.
I like my micrograiner.
Yep.
Oh no! See, you got me going
Microplaner.
Microplaner.
Yeah, microplaner.
It's a micrograter.
We actually, yeah.
It's a new word now.
Guys, really, I worked for Williams Sonoma. You're killing me here.
Hey, they got some good stuff up there.
Every kitchen needs the microplaner, and for various reasons, I do like it with the garlic. It depends on what I'm putting the garlic in, because when you put it on the microplaner, you're going for more of the flavor and the aroma. Where if you're like my spaghetti sauce, I put diced garlic
a little bit,
in.
Yeah, a little bit chunkier.
Because you want that texture, and you want to be able to bite in and get that that garlic. And we put when we make spaghetti sauce, it's probably like 4 gallons, 5 gallons sometimes.
Oh, I do the same, and I put it in jars and freeze it later because my daughter, her blood type would be pasta if she could pick it out.
So with the microplaner and the garlic, that's really good. But I always crush it before I pull it out of its sleeve. What is it called?
Oh, sometimes I get lazy. I just buy it in the bag that's already
husk.
Yeah.
You're referring to the skin of the garlic clove.
Yes, the skin of the garlic clove. Yeah. So when you're pulling it out, I smash it with the flat end of the knife, or the flat end of the knife. That also opens up some of the capillaries, so it doesn't burst on you as much. But it's the same enzyme that's in onion that makes you cry.
Yep.
So there it is.
So now another thing is the higher temperature that you're going to cook that garlic at, it actually is going to lose its flavor. So about 140. So then usually if you're going to use a lot of garlic and you like that garlic taste, add it near the end of whenever you're making your sauces and stuff like that.
Beautiful. Well, I am Wesley Source, and it's actually time for the first break. So I'm your host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be right back with more. And special thank you to our amazing sponsors. That's Vera Earl Premium Beef. If you haven't gone to the website and ordered your beef or your monthly beef box yet, get it done because you get a chance to get some Tucson Tasty Show swag. Your financial guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. And as always, stay tasty, Tucson. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm your host, Wesley Source, and we're having an amazing time talking about food and talking about all the amazing things that you can do with it. And I wish we had a stove in here so we can play with some food too, but not today. In fact, today we have an amazing guest, and she is calling in from the other side of town, but that is quite okay. Her name is Rita Conley, and she's the author of Lost Restaurants of Tucson. And how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Are you great? Thank you for being here with us on the show today. And
thank you for having me.
So excited. Being an author of the Lost Restaurants of Tucson, I did want to ask you all about Gordo's, but before we get into that, Gordo's was always one of my favorites growing up, but that was because they had a drive-thru and we would be able to get sopapillas with honey, cinnamon, and sugar on them, and that was our treat.
Yep.
But
Gordo's was a good one, and everybody always asks about that one. That's one of those restaurants that people always ask about, and everybody's got memories about it. And of course, the whole, do you really like chimichangas? I mean, that's a catchphrase that lives on, Yes. And Gordo's was really good. They had several sites over the years, but the one on the east side was, I think, the one that most people remember.
Yes, that's the one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Rita, what was the driving force behind Lost Restaurants of Tucson? Was there a specific moment when you thought this story really needs to be told?
Well, I like to brag on the fact that the History Press contacted me to do the book. I didn't have to pitch. I didn't have to. They had seen some of my work at the Weekly. I'd done some special articles. Special articles for the Yum sections and about older restaurants that had closed. And they saw that, and they have a whole series of those. It's a great, it's a great press, the History Press, Arcadia Printing. And so they asked me to do it. And so I was thrilled to do it. And then they asked me to do a follow-up called the Historic Restaurants, which are the ones that were still around. And I've also done one called Arizona Chimichangas for them.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So it wasn't my idea per se. It was their idea, and I ran with it.
And you did a great job. And you know why I'm saying that, because you know which of the lost restaurants that my family owned. Oh, by the way, for those of you on the radio who don't, it was the Hidden Valley Inn, and Rita was a big fan.
Yeah,
that was amazing how you worked that in. Thank you, Leslie.
That was the Hidden Valley Inn was always a special treat, because the food was great. There was entertainment if you were there on certain nights, and then you had the whole dioramas, and it was just it was an experience. It's where you took people from out of town, and where it was just, and then they had the truck for a while, which was great because it was kind of they didn't deliver pizza, they delivered steaks and ribs and all that good stuff.
Well,
so it was great.
Let's get a little personal here. Do you have any memorable experiences at these restaurants that other than the ones that you're just sharing, but that still make you smile today, right? And share your favorite.
Well, I met my husband at the Last Chance Pizza Mill. That's a pretty memorable and happy experience. Yeah. And a lot of I'm friends with a lot of people that I met there still. And, I learned how to do some good cooking, like at the Mexico Inn, which is still my measure of how I measure enchiladas and a lot of chimichangas, everything. It was a great little place to work. and I worked at, where else did I work at? But they were my favorites. And the Big A was always a great one, because it was the kind of excuse me, it was the kind of place you could go to, kind of as up by myself, and get a good hamburger and a beer or a soda or whatever. And and then of course there's the solarium. I don't know. Do you remember the solarium?
I remember the solarium fondly.
Yeah,
I do.
That was a lot of fun. And Jonathan Landine was the chef out there when they started. And then he went on to own Johnson's Cork, of course. But Jonathan Landine was a great place. I mean, again, there was nothing like it in Tucson. Tucson had never seen anything like the solarium, There was, with the windows and the triple layers. And again, they had live music on certain nights, and that was always fun. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of great places, with friends, with family. Bum Steer was always a fun place to go.
I have a question that I didn't put on the list, and I apologize about it, but have you ever been to Crooked Tooth Brewery?
No, not yet.
Well,
Not
we
yet.
have a unique opportunity on August 15th. That's Thursday of this upcoming week. We're going to do a taproom takeover with the Tucson Tasty show, and we're going to actually gonna just be set up, and we invite everybody to come down and check it out. There's no cover charge to get into the pub. It's just literally a meetup so that we can support a local business.
Well, what time and where? Where's Crooked Tooth?
Crooked Tooth is downtown. It's actually down the street from Benjamin Supply, and that's at that new cross section at 6th and Stone.
Okay. I think I know where that is. And then what time?
And there's more information at thetastyshow.com if you want to RSVP. And we're going to be there, I think, starting at 5 p.m.
Okay, cool. That
Yeah.
sounds like lots of fun.
It's going to be, and we'll have microphones, and we'll be doing some live streaming and get some interviews with the owner, Ben,
Okay.
and everything else. Speaking of Benjamin Supply, I do have to say thank you to Benjamin Supply today for hosting the football or some of the football players. I actually wear one of my iconic shirts is a U of A Hawaiian shirt, and I got our amazing quarterback to actually sign the shirt. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
That's good.
Anyways,
That's cool.
Noah Fafita. Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Noah Fafita. Beautiful. And so, in your opinion, how did these restaurants shape Tucson's dining scene and its vibrant culture? And what will you miss most about them? I mean, there's some amazing stuff out there, right?
Well, I think that for a while, Tucson has always been a foodie city, and so it's kind of moved forward, but it's moved forward that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what happened when Don Luria created the Tucson Originals,
Yes.
I think that put together Tucson in a way that probably wasn't ever there before, because all of a sudden they were partners instead of rivals. And they could, buy together and share employees and whatever else. I mean, it was a great thing, and I think that has carried on, even though the Originals has changed quite a bit. Now there's the Gastronomic Union of Tucson, and I think what's neat is that a lot of these guys and women, everybody, front of the house, back of the house, they've all worked together over the years at different places, and it's a really tight group of people, and they love each other and support each other, and it's just a great. I mean, I think it's unique to Tucson.
Yes.
I don't think you find that many other places, And we're still small enough of a city that can fly, that'll fly,
Right. And, and speaking of the Gastronomic Union of Tucson, or GUT, they're in their series, their dinner series right now. They've done their first two, and I actually think that I'm sitting across the table from somebody that helped set up all the centerpieces for the Gilded Age dinner.
Oh, cool.
Yes, that would be me. You wear many hats, but that's one of the things. And I'm a huge proponent and long-term friend of many of the members of GUT. And so having an antique business that we actually use our inventory for special events, etc., it was a wonderful opportunity to have one of my oldest and dearest friends, who's a very gifted floral designer and interior designer, help bring to life the floral designs from the period that I found for her, and then we used actual items from the Gilded Age on the tables. But we also featured Larmita Cellars wines. I'm going to slide that right in there. And it was a wonderful evening, and I was lucky enough to actually sit down and partake. And I will tell you, everybody knocked it out of the park. It's one of the best gut dinners they had ever done, and I'm sorry you and Tina weren't there, Wesley.
That's okay. We'll get the next one. Now, in the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the first half of the show, I think Joshua actually has a question for you, Rita.
Well, I got two.
Okay.
But, sorry, I got two, but we'll go with the first one. See if we have time for the second. So when you're putting together all these stories, was there a common theme or connection between all the different places that you found?
Well, I wouldn't say so much a common theme as the interest was that the passion that people had. That would probably be it. People loved talking about their families, their restaurants, and they did the same. They did the same with my second book, The Historic Restaurants. People love, you ask them, okay, tell me the story of E.G.'s, and like an hour later, you've got a great story. You've got everything that you need. Or tell me the story, and then you hear about Grandma and like Mina Dito. They just sold, but that's three generations of people, and they had their good Bill Clinton story, and they had, there were other great stories that people, there's just a lot of support in this community, and I think that's really makes Tucson unique. And I guess that's pretty much how I like all of them. They're really great guys, great people, I should say. I'm sorry.
No problem. So we got about 1 minute left, but my other question is, we talked about the lost restaurants of Tucson. Is there any lost recipes in there?
No. Let me look. I don't think so. Did Gorgeous send me a restaurant? I don't think I have any recipes in this one. I might have recipes. If you want recipes.
That's actually a really good idea, but maybe we'll keep that in our back pocket.
People don't give away their recipes, but if you want recipes, there is go to the Arizona Chimichanga book.
Perfect. So I'm Wesley Source, your host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be right back with Rita, Leslie, and Joshua and myself. Thank you to our amazing sponsors. It's Vera Oral Premium Beef. Special thing, Your Financial Guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail, and, of course, Stay Tasty Tucson. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm Wesley Source. Hey there, Tucson foodies. Welcome to another delicious episode of the Tucson Tasty Show. Today we're diving into some foodie history as we celebrate the wonderful world and flavor on August 10th. Did you know that today is National S'mores Day? That's right. It's the perfect excuse to gather around the campfire and indulge in a delightful combination of graham crackers, chocolate, and toasted marshmallows. Or if you just want, or if it's just too hot to hang out around the campfire, get an ice s'more mocha from El Gusto Coffee Co. Whether you prefer the traditional method or you like to get creative with your toppings, today is all about the sweet memories and gooey goodness. But wait, there's more to celebrate. On this day in 1921, a famous ice cream company called Ben & Jerry's was founded. Though the duo started their venture in 1978, their influences are still felt today. So as you enjoy your s'more, consider adding a scoop of your favorite ice cream to your dessert lineup. And let's not forget, August 10th is also recognized for being the birth date of Alfred Peet in 1920, the founder of Peet's Coffee. His commitment to quality coffee revolutionized the coffee shop experience, setting the stage for today's coffee culture. If you're curious about more fun food facts and happening this month, be sure to check out thetastyshow.com. It's packed with delicious details of our food history. So whether you're toasting a marshmallow for s'mores or enjoying a nice cup of coffee, let's raise a toast to the unforgettable flavors that keep us coming back for more. Thank you for tuning in, and keep your appetites ready for more tasty treats coming your way right here on the Tucson Tasty Show. And we're here with Rita Conley, the author of Lost Restaurants of Tucson. And what did you think of this day in food history?
Oh, that was really cool. A lot of good stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I guess I'm a geek that way. I like knowing about all that kind of stuff. Where the hot fudge sundae was originated, where the that kind of stuff. I get off on it. What can I say?
Understandable.
It's a fun thing.
Very cool.
So you like the little knowledge like that. So you know that it was made by a Girl Scout camp counselor in 1927.
That's one of my favorite things. You can make them in your microwave.
Yeah. And another thing is actually, so I grew up in Tennessee, and one of the things they have there is a moon pie, which is almost the exact same thing as what you're going to do for a s'more. But it was made actually like 10 years before. It was like 1917. But it's like I actually brought some into the studio to share.
Oh. I think didn't Laverne and Shirley eat moon pies? Wasn't that her favorite thing?
Yes, I
moon
think so.
Pies? Okay, all right, okay. I'm not making that up good.
Well, I do have another question,
Sure.
To get into some insight. How do you think the legacy of these beloved eateries continues to echo through Tucson's food scene today?
Well, there's a lot of the chefs are still around. Like Doug Levy used to work at the Dish, and I don't know if you ever had a chance to eat at the Dish, but it was an exquisite restaurant. It was tiny, it was sexy, the food was outrageous. Well, Doug's got Feast now, so that that's working out that way. And then, of course, there's all the El Charro restaurants. El Charro continues to move forward. They're not in the lost restaurants; they are in the historic restaurants book. But El Charro, of course, and then Vivace. I mean, if you remember Scordados. Danny has now got Vivace going, and he's been going for years. Mm-hmm. And then and Maria Maison.
He does hamburgers now too. Yeah.
Yeah. Maria Maison used to work at Papagayo. She was married to the son of Papagayo, and Papagayo that family goes way back to like the 1880s. They were they had restaurants and brothels and whatnot in the 1800s, and but Maria Maison worked there. That was her. She moved here and she got a kitchen job, and she said that's kind of where she learned a lot of what she does now is working at Papagayo. So I mean, there's a lot of and you got Johnson's is still around, even though it's in a different owners. There's just that used to be the Cork and Cleaver, and that one has kind of progressed over the years, and adapted and changed. And persisted. They're still around. It's just really nice.
Glenn and Sally, the new owners, are a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to eat out there just yet, but I will someday soon. Hello?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was taking a bite of a moon pie.
It was a moon pie break, Rita.
I would say moon pie, but these things are mini moon pies.
You're forgiven.
They used to be. I remember they used to be as big as your hand, but I get looking at the box. It does say minis.
You got the mini ones, which are like bite size. It's awesome. Anyways, So for our listeners who are reminiscing about these lost gems, which current Tucson restaurant do you think carry on the same delicious spirit or style?
I think I go with Feast. Feast has just got that. Doug has that same energy that he had when he first started, and I say that would be the one just off the top of my head. There's and again I go with El Charro and Vivace and go to the old Mexican restaurants. I mean, a lot of them are in the historic restaurants of Tucson book, but like the old Mexican restaurants are great. They're still. I mean, El Menudo got some a new roof, but I don't think it's changed anything over the years. It's still a really great place to go and get a cheese crisp. I mean, Linda Ronstadt talked about their cheese crisp in her autobiography, in her memoir. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it's just so. I think that there's a lot of places you can go and kind of get the feeling. Now, what might be a good one is Saguaro Corners.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though it's way out, I mean, that's a truck for anybody, I think. But it's been around forever. It's changed hands, and the people who have it now are still doing a great job with it.
It's actually down the street from me, but yeah.
Oh, well, then you should go there all the time.
Yes, of course.
So I have a question. So I'm a transplant to Tucson, so some of these restaurants, like, they were gone before I even got here. So you guys keep mentioning something Cork. Is that the Cork
Oh, yeah.
restaurant?
The Cork
It
Tucson.
was
That
called,
is-
it was called the Cork and Cleaver
Right.
first.
So now, okay, so
And-
now it's just the Cork.
And then it was Jonathan's
and
Cork.
Okay.
And
And
then,
then Jonathan Landine bought it and turned it into Jonathan's
Now I'm
Cork.
tracking.
Mhm.
And now it's just the Cork.
Yes.
And that with Sally Shamrell and her husband.
Nice.
So here, finally, if somebody wanted to explore Tucson's dining area scene with a retro twist, what would you be your top recommendations for them?
Wow, you know what, I do El Charro.
El Charro, okay.
The downtown one though.
The downtown one, which is
The
in the
downtown
original
one.
house, and I love
original
that
house.
the ambiance there is incredible, and they got the courtyard in the back, and you can still see the carne seca drying if you look up
Yep.
in the courtyard, and they're the only ones in Pima County that's allowed to do that,
Yeah.
if not Arizona,
Yeah.
from what I understand.
No, it's a special place, and they keep the spirit going. And even like I said, I think I'd go to Feast too, even though it's more modern. Doug still has the whole thing going because Feast has been around for a long time, and it used to be an itty bitty little hole in the wall where you could get good food to go. He was the first person who did like quality takeout, and you go there and it's still really great food, and it's a great vibe. And again, Vivace, because you could be the it's got a lot of Scordato still left in it.
Yes.
so Rita, I got to speak up for the steakhouse side of things. We know that HBI is gone, but of the old guard that are still here, that are Tucson originals, what would be your favorite in that genre?
I have a tough time anymore. I guess probably oh my God, Trail de Sound, on a Trail de Sound. I think that's where I'd go because it's got the vibe. It's been around for a really long time.
And Agro's doing an amazing job with it as well. They're
Yeah.
they're definitely keeping it the spirit of what it's supposed to be, and they keep the fire. I don't know if you knew this or not. And here's a little tidbit background, but the main barbecue that's in the center of the restaurant, if you go straight back when you walk into that steakhouse, never goes out. It hasn't gone out since they opened their doors.
Yep. That's what they told me when I was doing my research for the book. Yeah, that's what they said. And again, it's just really, I mean, Silver Saddle's gone, and is Little Abner still around? I don't know if Little Abner.
It is.
Abner,
It is.
And again, but
Daisy
I've been out
Mays
there
has always
for
been
years.
kind of a go-to for me. And
one?
Daisy Mays,
Oh yeah.
that one's a good one.
Yep.
That one is a good one.
Well, they're different now. They're not. That people always think, Mexican food and steak in Tucson. I think steak has kind of. It just isn't what it used to be. Now people are into the fancier places with bigger pieces of meat, and they're all good. I mean, I'm not putting them down by any means, but to get a good steak, to find a good steak anymore, I think it's kind of hard.
Well,
I think it's.
You know what I do when I want a good steak? I actually go to vepremiumbeef.com and I get a nice big juicy steak. Vera Earl Ranch is probably one of my favorite places to get the beef from, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking about your book and the history of Tucson, Rita. We'll have to have you back soon,
Please.
and
And like I said,
we'll
there's three
get you
books.
into the studio.
Okay, good. That's great. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Well, I'm Wesley Source, your host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be back, right back with Battleborn Coffee. Super excited about them coming into the studio. Special thank you to our sponsors, Viral Premium Beef, your financial guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, Local First Arizona, Allegra Marketing, Print and Mail. Stay tasty, Tucson. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm your host, Wesley Source, and we're having a great time here in the studio. We talked to Rita, the author of historical Tucson restaurants, Lost Tucson Restaurants.
Something like that. Lost Restaurants of Tucson and
Lost
Historic
Restaurants
Restaurants
of
of Tucson.
We still have Leslie of Laramida Cellars here in the studio, and our newest addition is Heather of Battleborn Coffee and
Brad.
Good to see you, Brad.
Good to see you.
And Battleborn Coffee is a roaster, right? You guys don't have a coffee shop yet. But when you Let's talk about your story. Why did you want to roast coffee? I mean, that one just kind of is the biggest one, right?
Yeah, we've been obsessed with coffee for a good 20 years at this point.
Fair enough. I'm going on 40 years.
Well, okay, so I should specify. I realized that coffee could actually taste good about 20 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Fair.
would just drink the Folgers at work, and it was what it was. It's just nasty, and you just dump a bunch of that nasty powder creamer in, and a whole bunch of cheap
You're breaking
sugar.
my heart.
I know. I had no idea. I went down to Costa Rica, and I just had a cup of coffee at this tiny little hotel.
Yeah.
It was nothing special, and they brought the coffee and there was no milk, there was no sugar on the table. And I was like, well, this is interesting. So I got to go to my meeting. So I'm just going to drink this coffee and then I'm going to go. So I just kind of I took a big chug and I was like, what? Holy cow, this is coffee? Like I didn't know coffee could be good. Like, we're from Cincinnati. Like, I don't know. It wasn't like on my radar.
Yeah, coffee is not a Midwestern strong suit.
No, it's not. So yeah, I had no idea.
So today is the birthday of Alfred Pete, the creator of Pete's Coffee.
Oh, nice.
We were just talking about that. Anyways.
I heard that, yeah.
But so your inspiration is literally from Costa Rica. And before that, you had no idea that coffee could be good. I apologize. It's... fair enough. But I worked in barista. I was a barista when I was growing up, and among other things when I was younger, running around in Tucson. But coffee's always been the center of my life. When from high school on, I mean, it was just that's what the driving force. So with you have a couple different roasts, right?
Yes. So what do we have now, Brad?
Six
different origins, but then we have a couple of blends beyond that. Yeah.
Perfect.
And then there's a decaf, which we don't normally count.
That's not real coffee.
So
some people don't qualify that as coffee. So.
Fair enough. So you gave us the Mexican blend. I think right. Is that one of the blends?
It's a single origin.
It's a single origin.
So it's all from Chiapas.
And that one was incredible. We did that in the espresso maker that I have at home, and it was solid. I mean, it was smooth. It was creamy. It had all the notes that you'd want from a coffee, and that's why I was hoping that Leslie would hang out a little bit longer, because coffee, when you're going and you're smelling the coffee and sipping the coffee, with the golden spoon, and you're aerating it into your nose or your mouth. Excuse me. Don't sniff the coffee, everyone. I haven't gotten there yet, but but
I
it's
have to
very
wonder
similar.
which came first. Did somebody decide to take bad fruit juice and get happy off of it, or did somebody decide that these cute little beans and fruit would make some?
The goats in Ethiopia.
Yeah, well, we all know that story.
And if you don't know that story, Google it later.
We're not
going
going
to talk about it
So
here.
I was going to ask, do you have a favorite bean variety that you use in your coffee?
So, a specific bean or like an origin?
Or either.
So, right now, my favorite origin is the Costa Rica.
It has a very cherry, tart cherry with it as well. So
I like the fruity flavors, the light
fair
ones.
enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I've been to Costa Rica. I lived in Florida for 20 years, so I spent a lot of time. So, what would you say your favorite wine would be with a coffee centric dessert?
With it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've never mixed wine and coffee, but my favorite wine is red wine.
Okay.
So I like pretty much any red as long as it's dry.
So it sounds like we might have another inspirational story here, where we give her a really amazing red wine, and she goes, "Wait a minute, wine can be good."
I know, right?
No, and then she starts making wine with Laramida. No,
we're doing a
coffee
second
wine
label.
would be
Yeah, there you go.
interesting with a coffee. That would be
hard
really
brew.
interesting. Anyways, all right. So
Put a pin in that.
let me ask you this: what is the inspiration behind the name Battleborn Coffee?
Well, we started in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you're battle hardened from 2020. I
Great.
think a lot of us
We are.
are.
We all had, and then also we all face our own battles every day. So we wanted it to kind of be relatable, but it kind of had that 2020 battle mindset. Yeah. Fighting for our sanity.
Right. That's fair. Actually, one of my favorite memes that I've seen about 2020. It's still saved on like all of my devices, and it's suit of armor where I'm ready for 2020, and then the arrow right through the very small hole, and 2020 said, no.
Yeah. We got you
Um,
anyway.
But yeah, it's that's fair. And so you have a single source from Mexico, which is really cool. And then is there a specific process that you're using? Are you using one of the air roasters? Are you using the tumble roasters? Is there? Let's talk about the coffee a little bit.
Why don't you go ahead?
All right. So I do the roasting.
Yep.
Right on the thing. Yeah.
So I do all the roasting, but we have a 3 kilo Mill City roaster.
Okay.
So it's a drum roaster. It's a typical.
Gas powered.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The familiar
traditional
what you'll see.
roaster.
Okay.
But yeah, we have gone through all these processes with all of our like 6 coffees of how do we make this taste good? Like what does it taste good light? Does it taste good dark? And then we've put a lot of time into. That's why we only have 6, and 6 is like a lot to keep up with.
Fair.
But like, we don't want to. We don't produce crappy, just no thought, no work coffee.
Brown the beans. We
You
don't
know,
do that.
It's some thought and effort goes into this, and there's still things we will lose a roast and toss it. It's going to be good.
Okay.
On purpose. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So when you're getting the beans in, are you getting them with the whole fruit, or you're just getting the beans? They've already been taken apart, so they're cleaned and ready to go. So you don't have to go through that process.
Correct.
Yeah, because there's a whole drying process and
Right.
washing and everything that we are not equipped to handle. Plus, I don't know that they would even send those here because they would rot before we could process them. So.
And then, with that being said, with the beans and everything when they're coming in, you're doing blends and stuff? Do you have a decaf coffee?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We do.
Oh,
See
It's
how
Swiss
quickly
water
you
press.
forgot because you don't count it. They just said that.
oh, fair.
Yeah.
I don't
Swiss,
count it.
Swiss
See,
water
I'm-
process, so it doesn't have any chemicals because a lot of traditional decafs will use a lot of chemicals to extract the
Right.
caffeine, but this doesn't. So I think it's the best
You said
decaf I've ever had.
Swiss process.
SWP, Swiss water process. There's
Mhm.
also mountain water process. I
It's
think
very
they have
similar.
like maybe different brands that they use. It's just the same thing. It's just as long as they use water and not like the hexane or whatever they use to extract it.
Fair. I never want a decaf cup, but for everybody listening, right?
Like right before bed, it's great. I'll have him make me like a latte or something, and then I can drink it. I'm very sensitive to caffeine. I can do 1 cup of coffee a day, and it's got to be good. So, if I want that something before bed, I'll have some decaf, and
Okay.
99.9% caffeine free. So,
Fair enough.
great,
I'm
yeah.
usually crushing up the no-dos and pouring it in the coffee right before bed.
yeah, Brad
but-
can do that. I cannot.
Awesome. Well, wonderful. So we have just a couple minutes left. Don't forget to check out the new store on the tastyshow.com. For everybody that's watching on YouTube and Facebook, you can get this beautiful notebook so you can take your notes while you're out at the restaurants and refer back to them. And you also get some. There's also a coffee cup on there as well, with the logo or with the Tucson Tasty Show logo on it. And we have that up there. We're getting T-shirts, we're getting aprons, we're getting everything rolling out, so you guys can have as much swag as you want.
We need
And
source chapeaus. You need to do the hats.
We're going to discuss what that is after we get
It's a
done
hat.
here. Hat. Oh, yes, hats, of course. Sorry, the language is not translating properly in my headphones today. But thetastyshow.com. Also join us again for Knife Fight on Monday, 7 p.m. at Charo Steak and Del Rey. You can also see us at Crooked Tooth on Brewery on Thursday at 5, as well as coffee with the Tucson Tasty Show on Friday. We're going to be at Coffee Exchange. And then, it's going to be a great week. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll see you next Saturday from 3 to 4. We'll have San from Torito Farms and Mexico in a Bottle will be calling in to tell us more about that event. Thank you to our special guests and sponsors, Rita Conley, Heather Davis, and Battleborn Coffee of Battleborn Coffee and Brad, Vero Premium Beef, your financial guy, Cody Peck, Network Outdoors, local first, Allegra Marketing Print and Mail. Thank you for tuning in and stay tasty, Tucson.